Hello, everyone. We are finally at our final day of safety, and today we're going to be talking about the router. So I know a lot of times when people hear the word router, they think, oh, internet router. But no, we're talking about a wood router today. So over the course of the semester, once we return to school, there's two types of routers that we may be using. Over on the left, we have, and then we also have on the right here a table router. Most commonly, we'll probably be using the table router for the projects that we're doing, but we do have the option for some handheld routing as well. So if you've never seen a router, basically how it works is you have a motor and a router bit gets inserted into this cock, I guess you could call it. And basically the router bit, there's tons of different styles of router bits, which I'll show you on the next slide. But basically what that does is it actually cuts the edge of your material and it'll put a design or it'll just kind of break the corner of it. And it's very beneficial for the appeal of any of the projects that you may be fabricating. So here are some examples of what a router bit can do. So on the center picture here, you'll notice it's taken the edge and it's actually rounded it and it's put a design into it. Over here on the left side here, you can see a couple different options. I think I have over like 20 different router bits back at school. But basically, you can kind of see what that router bit does to this material. Here's a picture of actually how that bit works. So you can see this person here is operating the router, and the bit, which looks like this bit right here, spins around and it actually cuts the edge of that material. Now, it's a little bit easier to use the table router because this router is actually mounted into the table and you can kind of feed your material into that bit. There's a short video clip I'm going to show you in a little bit here that'll actually show you how to use the router table. So let's look at a couple things for safety. So always be sure that the bit, which is the router bit, what's actually doing the cutting, is completely inserted and tight in the chuck before using the router. Always use some type of guide at all times. Avoid excessive pressure of the router bit against the edge of the board. Remember that word excessive from our other safety presentation. Excessive means a lot. You don't want to put too much pressure. What can happen is if you put too much pressure, you can either, that bit will actually chip the edge of your piece, and it can also create burn marks, which are really hard to try to sand out. Always be sure the bit is not in contact with your board when starting the router. So that router bit, you never want to have that touching your piece when you're starting the router. You always want it away from it, and you want to either feed your piece if you're using the table into the bit, or you'll feed the router against the piece if you're using a handheld router. Hold your board firmly when using the router. That's if you're using a router table. Push the board against the rotation of the cutting bit. So you always want to go from right to left, which is against the rotation of what that router bit is spinning. When using the router, do not force the board into the router bit. It may burn your wood or break the bit. And always take several light cuts on each side so the router is not too overloaded. So if you're ever routering a really thick piece of material, it's always a good idea to take several light cuts instead of one big cut so you don't overwork that router. So that is it for the safety rules. I just want to show you a quick example of a individual using the router table. And then that should wrap it up for the router safety. So let me just make this a little bit bigger for you. And go. Sorry about that. So you can kind of see how the material looks prior to cutting. Sorry about the delay, guys. My computer's having some issues with trying to record this and watch the YouTube video. I'll actually put this link to the video as well, which might actually be a better idea because I think the quality is not going to be the greatest. But basically, hopefully you can get an idea of how this is working here. As I'm not able to record a screencast over a YouTube video. That's why this is causing issues. So I'll put this video link onto our Schoology page. I think that's all right. Sorry about that, guys. For some reason, I'm not able to screencast a YouTube video. The quality is just terrible. So the video that I was going to show you, I encourage you to take a look at that. But going back to the test that you're going to need to complete, there's 8 total questions on it, and you need to score a 7 out of 8, which is an 85%, approximately an 85% or better in order to pass. Okay, so again, I will post that video that was not loading. I apologize for the technical issues with the screencast and the YouTube video, but I will post that on Schoology right underneath where this screencast is. Okay, so good luck on the test, and we are pretty much wrapped up with safety. The only thing you have to do now is you just have to acknowledge the safety agreement by writing your first and last name, and then we'll basically be done with safety. So hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you back in our Zoom meeting.